You know, I believe I like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. I have begun work on the interior of OLDScool. And the first thing, of course, is pulling the seats out. But I want you to notice something. I know I noticed it right away. So, look how clean that floor pan is. I mean, I had an idea from doing the rest of the car. If you've been following the build, it's a rust-free car. But to have that floor pan look as close to factory as it does, wow, how neat is that? Anyway, the seat is, you know, let me show you something else you might notice. Look at that. I got that clock out of a 87, I think, in a boneyard. I took a chance on it, brought it home, wired it up. It's been about 3 months ago. This thing is still dead nuts on after 3 months. So that thing is going to make the final version. Fits in that pocket right there. So I'll have a clock in the car, which will be kind of snazzy, don't you think? Anyway, well, you can see I've got lights going because as you can see, it's a rainy, drizzly day here on the west coast of Florida. We are dealing with the leftovers of Alberto. The center of the storm has passed us, but the next couple of days we'll be dealing with off and on heavy rains. Anywho, here is the seat I've taken out. This is the driver's side seat, obviously, and obviously in desperate need of reupholstering, which I'm not going to do. I don't like these seats. They appear to have come out of a Cadillac, probably an 80s Cadillac, maybe a 90s Cadillac. They work, they're power seats, they're fine, all that, but they're 60-40 split bench, and I don't want that. I want buckets and a console in this car when I get done, so they're not going to make it. What is going in there are the seats from a Chrysler Sebring convertible. One of those early 2000 cars, maybe late 90s, I don't know. But they are what I want. I'll show them to you. Now this is the seat that's going to be going in the wagon. That is a bucket seat from a Chrysler Sebring convertible. I believe those things were in the early 2000s. The kicker on these things is this right here. That seat belt buried in the seat. I'm not going to have that strap flapping around in the wind anymore. Now, something else that's nice about these seats, the old seats are about this high. This seat, of course, you can see right here, which means the headrest actually is where your head is. You don't have to raise them up a foot and a half to get your head leaned back on it. And the next thing is, your shoulders are actually right here. The seat is a lot more comfortable. Well, they've been in my living room for a while, and I have sat in them in my living room to kind of get a feel for them, and I like them. They're going to go in there, they're going to look good in there, whether they like it or not. Alright, now this is the reason those Sebring seats are going in this car. All of the G-bodies in those days, and quite a few of the cars, had the shoulder strap right up here mounted to the B-pillar down here, and then of course you pull this across your lap to tighten your seat belts, which, you know, it's effective, it does the job. But when you're driving around with your windows down, the wind will slap that strap around like a circus big-shoed clown. Well, that was kind of poetical, wasn't it? So, anyway, I'm taking that out. I hate those things. I've never liked them. I have them in the El Camino. Drives me out of my mind. They're going away. And that Chrysler seat will allow me to do it. That is the reason those Chrysler seats are going in there. Can't stand it. They're going. I can't wait for them to be gone. Now, here's one of the differences in the two seats. Of course, you have no perspective, so you really can't tell. But those tracks right there that mount to the floor inside OLDScool are about 3 inches narrower than the tracks in those Sebring seats. Consequently, none of these mounting stanchions are going to line up at all. In fact, they're not going to be anywhere close to lining up. So they get to come out. What's going to happen is I'll make new mounting brackets, stanchions, and then brackets from the stanchion to the seat to fit the Chrysler. Well, there's just no way to do it, and these things are not even close, so there's going to be a lot of cutting and welding and grinding to do a custom fit on this. None of these things are going to work where they are. This right here, that's the bolt for the seat belt, the stock seat belt. That bolt I will be able to use. I'll make a bracket that comes off of that tunnel and attaches to the inside, the tunnel side track on the Sebring seats. That's the only thing that I'll be able to use right there. So I've got some work to do. And because it's rainy and drizzly, it's kind of a cool day, so let's get on with it. See what I'm saying? We'll get a few days of this off and on. Kind of comes in a big spurt, slacks up for a while, comes back. Holy moly, that's coming in at me, and I'm 8 feet inside the covered area. Maybe time for a cup of coffee. Okay, step 1 is done, and I'm going to tell you right now, those things don't come out anywhere near as quickly as you would think, or as you would like. But they're out. Clean canvas. Let's start cutting and welding. Now, after a bunch of cutting and welding and burns on your arm, you're going to have this. These are the brackets. This stanchion, these stanchions here are just tacked in right now. I'm about to pull them out so I can weld a through bolt through here, open that hole and put a through bolt through. And then these are the brackets. Well, let's get these out here in the sun. It might be a little easier to see, or might not. They've of course got an angle in them and cuts, and they're going to take a lot of, or they did take a lot of grinding after the welds, because I'm not the best welder in the world. Some bend, and you can see that right there. That is 3/16 steel. When you want to bend it like that, it doesn't want to go. You are going to have to put it in a big vise, get yourself a 3 and 4 pound sledge, and beat on it till you scream or it bends, one of those two. But that's going to be your options on that. They're heavy. This thing right here, that piece of 3/16, it tried to hurt me. Anywho, that's the kind of stuff you end up with. Those I'm about to take out, put the through bolts in it, and seats will be set. Now, when you do all that stuff finished up and you've got it in, you'll have something like, well, you're not something like this, you'll have something exactly that. There's tunnel side bracket and rocker side bracket, and it is in here pretty well. I've got it scooted so that it doesn't come past here. It doesn't touch this. The old Cadillac seats did, you can see that. And I've got about an inch clear right there. That might be easier to see from the other side. But the height is right, it's adjusted right, and actually what you're looking at here really represents a fail. When I did the first set of brackets, it left the seat a little bit too close here, and so that this rubbed right in here. Can't have that. And this separation here was only about 1/8 of an inch. I could have, in fact I did try to rebend and shim out these brackets, but once I did, then the holes I had cut don't fit well and didn't look right and just not very elegant, so I recut and remade all the brackets. But I've got it now where this portion here stays above this. This portion here slides by here without touching, and I have room. In fact, it might be easier to see it from the front side. Hold on, redo my lighting setup. You should be able to see right there I have about 4 inches still left on that track that this seat can go back. So it has quite a bit of room to go back, and it has about 5 inches forward that it can go. It's right now right in my comfort range. I like it just the way it is, and I'm 5'10", so there's plenty of stretch in here for even a big 6'6" heavyweight. But here's the thing, look at that right there. I have a lot of room right there, whereas with my old brackets that was really tight, and now I've got room. I'm at the right height. It's a lot more elegant. I like it. Here's how much further back I can go. You can see that's quite a throw. And the brackets that I've made for down in here, they are mounted, or rather the passenger side is, and of course having those brackets and stanchions already made and fit will give me good templates for making them on the driver's side. But I'm well pleased. I like it. It fits in there well. I really like the idea that I no longer have those seatbelt straps hanging up there on the B pillar. They're right there as part of the seat. It's a lot higher back, and it's actually a lot wider, or rather higher, so that your shoulders fit right here instead of right at the very top of those old Cadillac seats. I like this thing a lot. This is going to be good. Now let's go make some more and get this stuff installed.